So good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you at the second day of the Future Economy Conference 2020. I'm Jane from the IMDA Sectoral Transformation Group, and we are here to work with industry, companies, and TACs to drive digital transformation and accelerate the growth of Singapore's digital economy. So this morning, I'd like to cover three areas. What are the trends in the COVID-19 and the new normal that are relevant for businesses? How are businesses adapting to the new normal? And what are the resources available to help you navigate this? I'd like to start first with digitalization. That's the big word. So in the Chinese characters for digitalization is 数码. But I picked up this phrase, 数码, which means speed and data, from one of our SME bosses. And really, when we look back at 2020, this has been the year when years worth of digitalization have been compressed into overnight change. Telecommuting, working from home, learning from home, e-commerce have suddenly become the norm. And more fundamentally, digitalization should also make it easier and faster for customers to find what they want and businesses in their operations. Yesterday, Chris from Aviva mentioned that actually going on cloud, for instance, has massively speeded up their ability to process data and analyze it. And that is an example of successful digital transformation, when speed and data come together. We know that disruption and digitalization are accelerating hand in hand. The good thing is that we are still situated in the middle of a growing Southeast Asia. And despite the pandemic, the prospects for growth are very good, with a young, fast-growing middle class. Last year, Temasek, Bain, and Google had a report that found that the e-economy had grown from 32 billion to 100 billion by 2019 and will triple to 300 billion by 2025. And this was before COVID-19, so certain categories like e-commerce would have grown even faster during this period. And there will be new shifts and new paradigms as companies, startups to large companies, push out new digital products and services. And we know that those who are faster on the move, who are better ready to make this move, will be in a better position to capture the market. We know that we're not living in calm seas. There are three trends that I'd like to highlight. First is in the global and geopolitical era. There have been disruptions to global trade and supply chains. Beyond cost efficiency and just in time, I think companies are now looking at supply chain resilience and figure out how to reconfigure that. Also, US-China trade tensions have spilled over to the technology domain, whether it is in areas like 5G, semiconductor chips, chat platforms, and even videos for entertainment. Those are now areas of potential flashpoints and contention. A second trend is in technology and business, and what I'll call the ABCs of technology. So A was then for artificial intelligence. It has already started to permeate various aspects of what we use, whether it is facial recognition or chatbots. B, for blockchain, it is still nascent, but definitely something to watch, especially with more use cases coming up in areas like trade finance. And C, cloud. I think that's a key technology, and many businesses are already moving on it. The key is not just about saving on infrastructure such as servers and so on, but it's really about the speed and agility that companies can get, because it allows you to scale up and down depending on your needs. And the third, of course, is in people. There have been permanent shifts in the nature of consumer behavior. I think we all do not think that we are going to go back to the pre-COVID times, as we heard from Minister Chan Chun-Sing yesterday. In fact, now the whole population is very much more familiar with QR because we all do safe entry. And this could also lead to other form of familiarity with QR-based technology such as payments. So looking ahead, there have been various predictions using different letters of the alphabet for how the economy is going to look like. It used to be V-shaped, W-shaped, and now people are wondering if it's going to be K-shaped. And this can occur at both the sector as well as the firm level. In the sectoral level, some sectors such as hotels, aviation, tourism have been hit much harder than others. At the same time, at the firm level, some companies that are selling the right products and services at this point in time, such as certain tech firms, we're all using Zoom right now, and companies that are more digitally ready will be better able to cope and thrive on this. And in the next segment, I'd like to share with you 3 stories about how businesses are adapting. My first story is about Mr. Wang Lei. He is a well-known Getai performer in Singapore. And during COVID-19, unfortunately, he had no business. So one of his friends encouraged him, why don't you try to sell fish online? So he took the courage to try this thing that was new. And to his big amazement, he was a huge hit. He saw tens of thousands of customers come onto his platform. And that is far more than the number of people who can gather in front of one Getai. In fact, now he is able to gather viewers and audience from around the region as well. And he is a great example of somebody who has picked up new digital skills to enhance his own innate talent of being able to engage with people. And I think that's how transformation happens, when we take what we already have and we add on the new digital skills and channels to help us reach even bigger audiences. Second example is about Hiap Giap. They're a local food manufacturer. And they used to take in orders via things like voicemail, fax, and so on. So this was very manual, and it was also quite difficult for their staff as well. So during this time, they onboarded a B2B marketplace called fmbmarket.com by Bizman. And what this has done is that customers can now send in orders automatically, which means that the staff don't have to spend time trying to pick this up. And with this, when being on board the platform, with new features on the platform, it will also enable them to reach out to more customers overseas. And I think that's one of the very, very good things we see with many SMEs in these times on Grow Digital, about trying to get onto platforms to access customers both locally as well as overseas. Third, one area in which many businesses are already shifting is using more plug-and-play B2B infrastructure, or what we call digital utilities. So digital utilities are a fairly new term. But think about this. As if you are a business, you don't think about where your physical utilities are coming from. Where does electricity, water, broadband come from? You just plug and play into the infrastructure. So similarly, as we move forward, it is also about the digital utilities that we are building in Singapore and connecting to other countries as well. And this will make it much easier for companies to do business, because you can just plug and play and focus on reaching customers and what is unique about your business. So examples of digital utilities are things such as digital identities, e-signatures, e-payments, e-invoicing. And this chart shows that just over the last 6 months, we have seen an exponential increase in e-invoicing and Pay Now business users. E-invoicing has gone from 1,000 before the start of COVID-19 to 25,000 businesses today. And Pay Now Corporate, which has been in place for several years already, went from about 100 over 1,000 to 225,000 in over the same time period. So this is something that is happening and something that I encourage all businesses to take note of and plug in. Let me just also share 2 examples of companies, both large and small companies, that have been using e-invoicing, because this is something that is fairly new for many businesses. So Ninebot Asia started as a Kickstarter project a few years ago, and they've grown very rapidly to be present in more than 30 countries. And while they were moving forward in terms of their products, which helps people with urban mobility, they found that their back-end processes were actually holding them back. They were spending more and more time creating invoices, reconciliation, getting payments from customers. And I think that's a familiar story for many SMEs. And once they found out about e-invoicing, they signed up through their account provider, Xero, and they found that this really helped them to free up a lot of valuable time, which they can then spend on sales, customer service, and the products. We also have Dairy Farm Group, which has come onto the e-invoicing network in Singapore. So beyond the benefits, so Dairy Farm, I think as many of you know, is the parent company of Giant, Cold Storage, and 7-Eleven. So in addition to the benefits that they could see for themselves, they could also see the value for the SME partners, and they worked with them to adopt e-invoicing. This means that there is faster payment for the SME vendors and partners, and just as importantly, they have cut down a lot on paper, which makes them more environmentally friendly as well. So getting paid faster, going green, and helping our SMEs are just some of the benefits that businesses can get when going on e-invoicing. And today, if you think about paying a person or business quickly, you think pay now. Recognizing that e-invoicing and e-payments are two sides of the same coin for businesses, we have decided to make this link clearer, and the PEPL e-invoicing standard in Singapore will be called InvoiceNow. And how does this work in practice? Really, it takes what is today a tedious manual process and puts it into 3 simple steps. Step 1, when the vendor and customer are on board the InvoiceNow network, the vendor just needs to send an e-invoice to the UEN of the customer. Step 2, on receiving the invoice, the customer verifies it using their own processes, and if they choose to, they can send a pay now payment to the vendor. And step 3, the vendor is notified of the payment and the process is complete. So that is a big change from a process today that is fairly paper-based, manual for many companies. And we're very happy to say that IMDA is partnering with DBS, OCBC, UOB, and the ABS, and we hope more partners in future to develop solutions that can link these basic functions into a seamless experience. And whether it is for big or small companies, there are many pre-approved service providers for InvoiceNow who can help companies come on board the network. And we really hope to see this grow at an even faster rate in future. In the last segment, I'd like to touch on how are we supporting businesses and what are the resources that are available? Because we all know that digital transformation is the thing that many businesses are going through. So where and how will you be able to find resources to help you in that journey? The SMEs Go Digital program has helped more than 40,000 companies, SMEs go digital. There are 3 components of that. First, for Start Digital, where we've worked with the banks and telcos, this helps SMEs pick up basic solutions such as cybersecurity, HR, finance, accounting, digital marketing, and so on. And these are free for the first 6 months, so they're very easy to use. And this is something that many companies have already started doing. Then on Go Digital, this is worked out through industry digital plans, and SMEs can find pre-approved solutions that are ready and suitable for their needs in their particular industry. So when we say pre-approved, IMDA also comes in to pre-approve to make sure that SMEs, when buying these solutions, can know that they can trust these as well. And if they buy the solution, they will receive up to 80% productivity solutions grants from Enterprise Singapore. So that's how IMDA and ESG also work together very closely for SMEs. And third, Grow Digital. This is something we launched at the beginning of this year, and now we have over 11 platforms, both B2B as well as B2C, that SMEs can go onto so that you can access customers overseas as well, because we know this is really critical for many SMEs to tap into regional growth. And on top of that, there's also been support in other areas, such as the e-commerce booster packages to help companies go on to e-commerce and food delivery platforms. And during the earlier budget this year, it was announced that there will be a digital resilience bonus pilot for the F&B and retail sectors, where they will get up to another $10,000 for adopting and using digital solutions. So we strongly urge all companies to look at what is the help available and tap on the resources that are already here. We are also helping to encourage the use of more technology for businesses to safely reopen and be safely managed as well. For example, we recently announced that we will support up to $20 million for the construction sector to safely restart, such as the use of visitor management systems and smart cameras, wearables, and so on. And there are also more of these solutions that enjoy funding support, such as robots that are integrated with temperature scanning and digital concierge facilities, smart building management systems, property management systems, and so on. So this is just a very quick snapshot and examples of what is already available, and there is substantial funding, especially this year, to help companies adopt digital solutions. For companies that are looking at wanting to innovate, but don't quite know where to start, or want to look for resources, outside of their company, you can tap on the Open Innovation Platform, which links up problem solvers with over 9,000, which links up problem statement owners with over 9,000 problem solvers. And that's where we've also launched the National Innovation Challenges to deliver solutions for challenges that many businesses are grappling with, such as safe workplaces, homes, schools, and commuting. We also know that one of the key issues that many companies grapple with is how to find the right talent to help them on digital transformation and building up internal tech talent capabilities. So we are boosting the pool of tech talent in Singapore through TESA, which is a Tech Skills Accelerator program. And one of this is that we get big tech companies to train more than their fair share of tech talent, and so that this tech talent can then be deployed to many other companies in Singapore. And on top of that, there is Skills Future, where you can send your existing workers or new workers to upskill, and there are many, many digital skills courses in areas that are very much in demand, such as digital marketing. So again, we encourage companies to look at this and figure out how can you best boost your workforce to help you on your digital transformation journey. And let me end off with a little bit of a peek into the future. 5G. So 5G is not science fiction. It will be here. It is coming here in the next few years. So we've already awarded through the CFP and these networks will be built, and they will be up by 2022, half of the island, and also by 2025, Singapore will have these 5G standalone networks. And what does 5G bring? It will bring hyperspeed, massive data, no lag, or what they call zero latency, and really make possible the Internet of Things. But it's very hard when I say fast. How fast does that really mean? So just a very quick example, if we all remember in 3G and 4G, so in 3G, it will take you 26 hours to download a movie. In 4G, it will take you 6 minutes, which is where we are now. And in 5G, by the time I finish saying the sentence, it will be done. And that is not all, because we are seeing that this is really going to unlock many possible new ways of doing things. For instance, our Port of Singapore, PSA, is already trialing autonomous cranes so that people can sit in their center itself and remotely control a number of cranes without having to sit in the crane itself. So that is the kind of potential power, new jobs that can be created as well. And just as 5G and just as 3G enabled the mobile surfing, we remember 4G enabled the smartphone. I think 5G will definitely enable many new innovations that will change how we live, work, and play. So as businesses, this is a key trend. It is important to start thinking about what this could mean for your business, what kind of new products and services you could have, and how would you also interact with your customers in new ways. And so to conclude, while we live in a time of disruption, it is also a time of new opportunities, possibilities, and partnerships. For Singapore, digital transformation and digital inclusion must go hand in hand to ensure that we do not create new digital inequalities, and when we bring everybody along on the journey. And we look forward to co-creating a bright future ahead with everybody. Thank you.